what they don't tell you about getting married is all the guilt-free sex you have. Guilt-free.
Hey,
man,
love doesn't have to be as expensive as people are making it.
Low-budget film love is the best love.
I think it was the best decision I ever made. According to recent data, 35 to 50% of first marriages end in divorce.
And this is how you know you're submitting to God. Your wife submitting to you.
This sense of misery loves company.
Man, it loves it. It needs it to. Misery needs company to be misery. You put 1,000 gay people on an island, the island will go extinct.
Pinky in the Brain?
Uh-huh.
Dude, wild stuff I've seen. The dude, he has a saw.
Windows. Oh,
he has a saw and he's like thrusting, the saw cutting. Like, I don't know if you see.
It's sick, dude. Man, like,
the only thing you cannot transplant is their brain. Hello, what's up? What's good? Welcome to the beginning of the never-ending After Dark edition. I'm excited to be with a really, really good friend. We're entering a new season, so I'm excited to jump into it, you know?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Ty Shaw from episode 14. And so, yeah, we have some interesting topics we're going to be jumping in today. Two biggest ones I think I'm really excited to jump into. One being marriage. I'm really interested in your dynamic, what you're expecting from that. Now you've entered this new coveted world now, you know?
Yeah.
And then I'm also really excited to jump into, but I think this is really important, especially because anyone doesn't know the shirt that he's rocking right here, the Smile More campaign.
Sir, tap in with me on Instagram.
Yo, IG. You got to do it on IG.
You will not regret it, trust me.
Yeah, it's really good work. And one of the things I want to talk about is specifically about Angus from Euphoria. I'm not sure if you know what's going on. Mm-mm. So I know you're probably familiar with Mac Miller.
Yeah.
So Angus is another unfortunate but individual who suffer from mental health and I'm really excited, to talk to you about this because I think that's something that you've been advocating for, kind of the mental health and Smile More, right?
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to jump into those first worlds. But first, we got to do it, man. Happy, how you say it? Marriage? So what's up? Welcome to the club.
Yeah.
How's it been? How's it feel? How's it, how long has it been? It's been like only a couple weeks, right?
Nah, we are almost 2 months in.
Wow. How's that feel?
Very new, but it's fun. Scary, but fun.
Sure.
It's almost like, how would I put it? Like if you ever moved like from a spot to just very, very far away. And then that reality like it just hits like you're not going back. It's like, it's that weird shock, like, whoa, I'm in a new environment, I'm in a new place, I'm in a new way of life. And as much as, like, the old you wants to pop out, it's like, I can't go back. Like, when I was in Kansas, it's like, I can't go back to California, no matter how much I go through, how much I want to jump and leave. It's like, nah, I'm here.
You made a commitment, it's time to go.
Yeah, and I don't regret it. Yeah, if you're young out there, men, players, hang up the jersey. I really advocate that because it's something that I wish that I did a lot earlier had I known that this is how I would have had my life. Because if you would have told me, Ty, you're going to be married with a puppy, a wife that's happy and loves you, you're going to be financially supporting it all too, before you're 30, I would have laughed at you. Because I'm like, nah, like, me? Can't be, but it's like I was also wanting to just be in my old ways, and it's like I was in my old ways because I wanted this. Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, you're good.
Let me swing that. But it's like I was in my old ways.
No, you gotta speak closer to that. But you're good though. No, talk anything.
I was in my old ways because I wanted this. If that makes sense. Like I'm out there.
You were looking for
a
partner or companion through life, or was it a little
hard that if you told me that you're gonna find it at this time, I still wouldn't have believed you. It's hard to like really even.
Why? Because your standards were really high, or was it more of like you knew that was your goal, what wanted to happen, but you didn't expect it to happen so soon? Was it like that?
Because my wife isn't even who I was attracted to last year. Kid you not. But my wife is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
It's like you grew.
Yeah. So it's like I would have been like, all right, let me just chill out and stop worrying about finding her if that's gonna be the thing. Like that's what I would say now if you told me, you know. But back then, old me would be like, nah. But now that I see how like life is, it's like if I would tell someone younger, I would be like, yeah, just chill out because it's gonna come. You don't really want to hurt yourself in the process, you know, sleeping around, building up these bad habits that you're gonna have to end up killing when you get married. Or
That's a strong word, killing.
Killing, yeah.
Oof.
I,
Shoot. Jeez.
Yeah,
it's like a hostile takeover here.
Yeah,
It's like what's happening here?
It's crazy because it's like it's parts of you have to die, period. But some things have a time frame, but some things are like more immediate. Like, I really got a hold of my temper. I realized that you're not getting married until that's handled immediately. And sure enough, I'm married. You know what I'm saying? Happily. We're thriving. Shout out to my beautiful wife, Erica. It's just, I'm still shocked to even speak like this. But
faith is a big part of the world, I imagine as well. Do you feel like that helped kind of make the transition a little bit easier?
Yeah, because she's everything that I've ever wanted. So the fact that she showed up initially not how I planned does not negate the fact that God did what he said he would do. So I'm like, let me grow up then.
Almost like let me step up to the plate then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I was so shallow. Like, when we were first talking, like, we weren't even talking. I was like, I don't like her feet.
Yo,
like, I was thinking that.
That honesty is so huge.
And then now, love them toes. Prettiest feet I've ever seen in my entire life.
Can't bring them.
Yeah, it's like, and that's one thing too. I haven't written about it on my blog, which is the same thing, Smile More. I'm gonna talk about, like, and we can even jump it off here, like, what they don't tell you about getting married is all the guilt-free sex you have. Guilt-free.
Damn, you might have to like patent that. That's a trademark. Guilt-free sex. Guilt-free.
Guilt-free. You just laid down.
Oh wow!
In the most vulnerable position with someone,
so
and you don't have to leave. You don't have to run. You don't have to lie. You don't have to.
There's no game.
There's no. This is your partner for life.
It's like love,
and they love everything about you.
There is a sense of like making love to someone you're married with.
Dude.
So it's a whole different world. It's like it's not almost like I guess that guilt free. You almost the consequences don't even there. What is there? Like it's just I never saw it from that perspective. So very interesting.
There's only a reward. You get closer. I'll tell you right now, we have solved some problems with sex,
with love. Yeah,
and it was like, and we don't feel guilty about it.
Yo, holy shit. That's a dynamic. That's a bar.
And that's what I want young men to understand. All the guilt you're feeling right now, like, stop. Because you don't need to add it up so that when you meet somebody, you got to start cutting it off.
How would you describe guilt?
Guilt? Guilt is like that. It's like missing out. It's like I tied to discipline. Where if you were more disciplined, you would have had a different outcome.
Wow, it's so interesting.
I've been playing poker lately online. Not real money. It's on my
Texas Hold'em?
Yeah.
Oh, I love Texas Hold'em.
On my Xbox, and it's like losing out on that hand when you see the pot is like 30,000 and the dude won with a high card 10 and you had 3 of a kind. If only you played.
It's like,
but it's like it's that feeling of like, if only I kept going, if only I'd stuck with it, I wouldn't be in this
situation.
Exactly. So that's why I'm like, if I would have just said no to those women in the past, I wouldn't feel like this.
Mm.
But I'm happy I stopped when I stopped, because it's like the battle that it's been to kill that part of me, it's already been hard enough. So I'm like, I'm just happy that I'm in the arena of fighting it, not bringing it on as a third party.
You mentioned this kind of guilt-free. I wonder, because one of the things I loved about when I went through your story is the transition of kind of like how you went to develop Smile More, and the constant fight for football, and trying to to make things work, try to work with the staff and all, trying to bend over backwards for people, and noticing how when you fell on faith, and or when you transition yourself into like realizing like I need to go by my rules, I need to go by my agenda, but I need to do it where it's in a proper way that's better for me as a man and as a future and potential husband or father. You essentially transition from kind of that boy, you know what I'm saying, to the man phase. So I'm curious here.
Still going through it.
I think it's forever. Yeah, there's always details, right? But I'm curious here. As I mentioned to you, there is something really specific, right? Going into marriage with another partner, right? And you use this term of killing, right? Like, so like there is no looking back. This is it. We're going to, have to make that partnership work and make it happen. You're 2 months in, right? One of the things I'm really curious about is this like newfound kind of like future. Because I remember when me and Sarah first got married, right? And like we came back home, and because we went to the courthouse, and I was with my family.
Smart.
It was cheap.
Smart.
I have to hey man, listen. Love doesn't have to be as expensive as people are making it.
Low budget film love is the best love.
I think it was the best decision I ever made. And so I was really excited because I had the most important people I wanted to be there, But the one people that wasn't there, which was her parents, right? And it made me feel really really bad because her family's out in Korea. And one of the things I always wondered, because we sat there and we were thinking like, what should we do? Like what's the best way to celebrate, like us getting together and like us like, kind of putting right. What we felt like, man, actually like every day has felt like a celebration. I don't know how to make sense. Every day felt great. Like every day, even prior to us becoming married, like just like we just was like, everything felt like it was the right moment, the right time, right things to do. And when we got to like us finally being married and together, we were like, I'm expecting things to change, right? Now we're supposed to do like the honeymoon, and we need to do like, we're supposed to have this like huge, like life was supposed to be like different, but it didn't feel so different. Right? I'm curious for you, for me, for me and my personal standpoint, marriage doesn't feel as different. I think if you live like you're married beforehand, I think that is what I realized, that if you come from a world where you're operating and acting like you're single while you're with someone, and then you get married and the next day you're like, okay, now I'm with someone, right? I feel like that's dangerous. Yeah. But I feel like for me and Sarah, we were just married in general. Like we made decisions together, we came together. It just felt like it was a name on a paper. And then once that happened, we just kind of felt like, okay, it's official. But at the end of the day, we always felt official. So I'm curious on your dynamic. Do you feel like you guys' marriage was like a transition from, hey, we're now singles, but now we're going, not single per se, but like kind of that mindset, like, hey, there's always other options, versus now married, like, hey, you are my option? Or do you kind of feel like the same, like you transition into this married life already realizing like, no, this is it, like this is the person I want to be with?
Well, we were acting married before we were engaged and all that. So I'd say that the dynamic has just intensified, because it's like there's no running. Like our generation likes to run at the first sign of hard times. And that's something that I struggle with. And that's something that she also struggled with. So I'd say it's gotten more from melodic to harmonious. Like we were both sounding good together, but once we start coming in in harmony. Now our sound is different. Like we just move differently. We're constantly changing. So it was like, yeah, us from a state of courtship to a state of growth, to a state of pruning, because it's hard, but that's the thing. It's like God even tells you it's hard. It's in the Bible. He says every day's going to have its troubles. So for you to sit here and be mad like that your marriage is hard just shows that you're not really mature enough to handle your situations at hand, which I've learned. I don't look at her as a problem. I look at God like, let me become more mature to handle this situation, because I like my position in life and I want it to go bigger, but I need to do it the right way. I can't drag somebody to the finish line. And she can't drag me neither.
So let me ask you.
And that's also big too. Nobody can drag anybody to the finish line. You must go to it in unison, like you're holding hands. Because like, also it's something that I probably didn't write about because I was probably saving it to talk about. That's my biggest fear in life, is we get to the end and I see her go to heaven and me not go. That's a possibility.
Yeah.
And vice versa. I don't want me to go and her not go.
Yo, that's deep.
Yeah, so it's like, so that's why I say stuff kind of intensified.
So let me ask you this, right? So you have put essentially a target on your back, right? If you look at the dynamic of America right now, I just pulled up a statistic, and I'm curious in your thoughts. According to recent data, 35 to 50% of first marriages end in divorce. Now, do you think the second marriage is worse or better if they get remarried?
This is interesting. I would say it's a catch-22, because technically you're not supposed to remarry unless you're really like cheated on.
Sure.
And if you're just out there divorcing because of just silly reasons, or reasons that are not detrimental to life, health, or death, you know what I'm saying, then by default your next marriage is going to be hard.
And you are accurate. 70%, 60 to 70% of the second marriage end in divorce.
See, and
what do you kind of feel, right, what do you think is one of the biggest reasons, right, for marriages to be successful, right? And I think it's like a lot of young people are having a really hard time finding partners, right? We kind of live in a very digital world. So the human interactions that you're having with people, the dynamic of individuals meeting at the club, meeting at church, meeting out and about, right, is less now. More people are on their phones. More people commute while driving. So they go from their AC house to their AC car to their AC building back to their, right? And a lot of company policies don't require, you're not allowed to date inside the office.
Yeah.
So a lot of people just don't find partners. And if they do, they find it out with friends. You know, maybe they may get like, right? So one is really difficult to find a partner. But when you find them, what makes it even more harder is that we're so divided on a lot of things in the world right now. It's very hard to find someone with the same worldview as you find them. So I'm curious, what do you think is going to be the biggest thing that you're going to be kind of like working on, and or, I have my opinion. I'm curious to see if it matches yours. On what makes marriages really stick, work together.
So my marriage is going to be like, Grandpa Rufus and Grandma Geraldine. They've been married for 60 years. And it's because they believe in God. Sometimes it's crazy. I might get emotional, but I just get emotional talking about God because it's just kind of beautiful how he has this all set up. So the reason why we're going to last, me and my wife will last, is because we believe in Jesus. So therefore, we both have to come in agreement in our own ways to what he says about us individually to make us as a union work. Because men have to submit too. People just think it's just a woman thing. No, men have to submit to God. And this is how you know you're submitting to God. Your wife submitting to you. Straight up. Because he's going to tell you how to talk to that woman. That's his daughter too.
So having the same worldview around faith, it's a big dynamic.
Yeah.
To why you feel marriages last.
Straight up.
I think that's some truth to that.
Yeah, because it's like it's coming down to like where in this day and age we don't have time to be divided over this, that. There's too many things to be divided about.
So much there.
So essentially what we do is bring the issues that are having people divided. We see what God has to say, and then therefore we see where we stand. And it's going to be tough. And that's why it's called faith, because it's going to test you. So it's going to be like, if you believe in this, then you have to stand on this side. And me and my wife know that standing on this side puts a target on your back and also is not the easiest side to stand on. But like I said, we want what Grandpa Rufus and Grandma Geraldine want, because I've seen relationships like that go through the thick of it. And the only reason why they come out of it is because God brought them both to the finish line.
One thing I like about faith, especially church, is that it puts people in a position to have very common and specific worldviews.
Yeah.
Right? If you're a Christian, right? You believe, Jesus died, right, to cover your sins. Essentially, you are right, imperfect. There is someone who is perfect, and that perfect's gonna lay his life for everyone else. Then shoot, man, we gotta live to the best of our ability to make sure that not only do we follow in his footsteps. Of course, we're gonna pay for people. We're gonna make mistakes, but as we continue the practice, right?
Yeah.
Our goal is to make sure that we just stay within the commandments, and that'll lead us to heaven, right?
Yeah, like you'll fall in the mud, but don't play in the mud.
Yo, that's like, jeez, man, my God, these should be shirts, bro.
We're gonna get dirty, but don't stay dirty, and just know that you're gonna get dirty again after you undirty yourself. But at the same time, as long as you live that life of we're never going to stay in the mud, like, you should be cool.
So this brings me to I'm going to take it a little bit farther back. Divorce rates used to be this high. It used to be much lower. Everything was like back in the 80s. Actually, don't quote me on this, right? But that's what we're gonna do.
Yeah,
right?
I think that was pre-sexual revolution.
Yeah, this is prior to.
'Cause it hasn't stopped.
It was 20.
We still in it.
In real terms, this means that the size. Oh my gosh, it was down 50%. So, oh my gosh, almost nothing. It was like 20%. But it was
you were better off being married. According to those stats.
Depending
back in the day, you were better off.
I mean, yeah, most of them about houses, you're able to work together. There's a lot of things that can come around, right? But also it right now we're on women's freedom, given the ability for them to be able to, get away from their abusers and pursue it. But I want to talk about this because I believe that during this time, I think as Americans, we were very much more faith-oriented, very community-focused, right? You knew your neighbors. You would talk to them. You would interact with them. You would see them at church, or you would see them at the school or gathering or social gathering, right? You would be able to fellowship, right? We call it, right? Talking together, communicating about whatever's going on in their life, to be able to let it go. But now it feels like, as connected as people are, you're very much more disconnected. And what the algorithm says, it's going to show you some things. Like, I'm not going to lie. I'm on my phone, and I'm seeing girls twerking all the time. I was like, why are they attacking me? Why are they sending, And so, but that's also, right, me. Because it's not like the algorithm is pushing it on me, right? It's me who's, looking at the post or, liking some other certain thing, right? Right? This is going to push content to that side of the brain, right? And so it really is a discipline that you have to try to get yourself to not fall in those that ways. Do you feel like it's possible to be able to live a life of virtue, right, but not follow God, to be a successful marriage, right, but to not do it through faith? Do you feel like that is, because you mentioned like that was like the biggest thing that's going to hold you two guys personally together? Do you think it's possible for something else?
Well, I mean, according to, again, it's one of the most straightforward books of the Bible, but in Ecclesiastes, there's nothing new under the sun. So I can't sit here and say that somebody who doesn't believe in God isn't going to have a successful marriage. Like, yeah, it's it's very much possible.
So then this brings me to my next question. As I mentioned to you, there's a gentleman. His name was, I think, Angus. He's from Euphoria, the show.
That's tough. I was just playing Mac the other day.
It's brutal. And it's crazy that they're both trending really heavy right now. And I love Mac. I was watching his Tiny Desk prior to, I think, a day or two before I found out. Yo.
Yeah, I was playing that, bro.
I was rocking, dude. That was one of the best shows I've ever seen. Man, one of the things that's really happening to people is the mental health battle that people are dealing with.
Yeah.
And again, I think like, mental health was never a big thing. No one really talked about it, back in the 80s and 90s. It was like, hey, man up, get pull yourself out of your footsteps, right? But it's definitely becoming a thing now. And men, right, their suicide rates are going just out of this world, right? And it's not that, women do statistically attempt more than men, but men they're just way more, successful. And particularly with Angus's case, from the reports that I read, a lot of it comes from his father who passed away, and he took a couple weeks ago. And it weighed on him really heavy. I mean, we're talking about he's an actor. He never was really an actor, like in terms of like a practice one. He just jumped into it. Dude, the first 2 seasons, everyone loved him and his character, what he was doing.
Yeah. He
was part of some other shows as well. But like, you really just don't know what's going on with someone else's head and what's going on with someone and how they're dealing with stuff.
True.
How do you feel like now that you are married, right? And if in the future you choose to have children, that relationship with instilling these values that you have to your son or daughter, right? To prepare them for what the stresses of life can put on them.
Rephrase that one more time for me.
Sure. I feel like there is times where people, right, especially, as you get married, of course, you enter into fatherhood, right? Yeah. And or you're talking to the community, like we mentioned. You have this, church or whatever spaces. What values do you think is really important to instill in someone to prepare them for like again, we talked about these attacks coming,
yeah,
right? To prepare them to be mentally strong during those hard times.
Well, immediately, because I almost killed myself at the Lake of the Ozarks, like I think 2 years ago, right now. And what pulled me out of that, I'd say immediately, y'all, family. Call on family. It sucks, but you gotta open up, and that's the worst part. Because if you don't open up, that's the battle that the devil fights. It's in your mind. He's going to flood you with stuff. Like it's in there that if you get rid of one thing and then like welcome it back, it comes with 7 more things to deal with. So imagine doing that. Like, you get rid of one bad way of thinking, then you go back to it, then all of a sudden that bad way of thinking has now 7 more lies that come with it that you now have to fight. Now do that for a week straight, and your dad just died. It's like you have to talk to people. That's what Smile More is for. I literally exist I'm an open DM. Talk to me. Reach out. Like, because that's what I know at least saved me. Because when I was on the brink, I thought of my mom. Immediately. My mom. And something else I'm sorry I said family first, but you need your faith because it's going to give you the values to stand on in those times. Because before I pulled the trigger, God was telling me that, like how this works. You're giving me an incomplete test. You know how that goes. And I've turned in incomplete tests in my past.
Me have too.
And I know the feeling of going up and knowing I'm giving you a fail. That's what he was showing. Like, this is what you're doing. Like, he's like, I couldn't even grade it if you wanted me to because you're relinquishing it. I was like, and then mom, and then brother, dad. You know what I'm saying? And then he starts showing me the way out. And ever since then, I've been really pushing my brand. So,
that seed has grown.
Yeah.
What could have been a bad harvest.
Yeah.
You took the opportunity to convert it to something where you can actually to help pull others who may be going experiencing something. Dude, that's such a profound way to experience that.
And if you don't have family, friends.
For sure.
But the thing is, those friends, like, watch this. That one friend that is like corny to you, goes to church or whatever, posts those weird posts, should be your best friend. That should be the homie. Straight up.
Preach.
Like, I'm telling you, that's what the world wants you. It wants to make you think that person shouldn't be your friend or that person is weird. No. That person is going to talk you off the ledge when you're standing on it. Not the one that's at the club with you. He might jump with you first. You know what I'm saying?
This sense of misery loves company.
Man, it loves it. It needs it to. Misery needs company to be misery.
Misery needs company to be misery.
Yes, because you start, you want to look at me. Look, I feel bad. Look how miserable. Don't you feel bad for me too? Now you're into it. Oh, look at them. Oh. Oh. Now you're in that way of thinking. Now you start to look at your life. And they just pass it on to you.
I think there's a sense, though. I think there is a sense where when despair hits, I think despair is one of the most intense words, right? Because that's like, you have kind of like, again, the hope and faith, and then you have like despair and anguish, right? You have these like, for real.
I felt it 2 times in life.
Jeez, man. I don't think I ever got there, but I used to have a really tough relationship that I was in prior to the relationship I was with my current spouse. And we dealt a lot with the problems of trying to figure out the kind of mental battle, right? I have seen people who try to commit, and had to pull them like, yo, listen, look, you don't think there's options, right? It's really hard to see them. It's really hard. And to be honest with you, right, life right now, you have probably all the validation to say, hey, look, this might be the end. But one of the things you have to always remember is that you are the most important person to you, to take care of you and to help you, right? What we want to do is we want to surround you with other people, right, who are really healthy, right? Because showing you what healthy life is living and how happy that situation can be can give you a sense of feeling of like, I can be that too. But when you're seeing around other people who are despair and misery and everyone doesn't like the life that they have, then of course, how could you like it? Because all you're surrounding yourself, all you can see is darkness, right? Mm-hmm. Give yourself just a candle. All of a sudden, your hope has changed. Put 2, 3, you may not even been on fire yet, but trust me, when you get close enough to them, you're going to catch on fire. It may not start right now. It seems like you're in, like, but surround yourself with people, with healthy individuals, and that can change the whole dynamic in space. And that's what I think has been the kind of premise of this show is about surrounding yourselves with people who are really making a difference, whether not just like to the universe, okay?
Yeah.
Just to themselves.
In their own little small niche.
Even if it's just themselves. that self work, man. Get yourself close to that. Someone who's just been focusing on themselves, right? And just like the betterment of trying to make sure they're the best version of themselves they could possibly be, that'll catch fire.
Yeah.
And someone who has faith behind them, a whole God to push that wind to blow it, you might, might be careful because you might, might scorch the earth here. I did never knew that you battled with that. I never had any demons. I can't relate, but being around it, man, it's something to deal with that alone. It seems like you were kind of like, that's
No, I wasn't by myself. I was with ex, and it's just like, you know how I said like just the flood of lies. I kind of just got hit with a bunch of just lies at the same time. So we're at the Ozarks. I have my 9 on me because I worked as a guard, so I could carry, but I don't know if it was even legal to bring it, but I didn't trust anybody out in the Midwest. So I was going to find out later rather than just find out. So, and my phone didn't have service. Me and my dad weren't talking. Like for a while, even prior to that. So Father's Day was also near my mom's birthday. And I couldn't talk to any of them. And I was with people I didn't want to be. I know I wasn't going to marry this person. Which was a constant reality. I kind of hit dating people. I'd always get the whisper, this isn't her. Or, you have 2 weeks. Yeah, or end it now, or I'm going to end it harder. And it would happen. And I'm like, this is... So, I just know, like, yeah, this is not my situation. And I couldn't reach out to anybody with no service. Like, I was under such attack that I thought that everyone was watching me have a bad time. Like, I'm trying to have a good time, and every time somebody tried to, like, cheer me up or try to do something, I felt like it was out of pity, and I felt offended, and even more closed off now, because I'm like, oh, they see I'm having a bad time, so they're trying to be nice. They're only being nice because I'm having a bad time, like, now they're all watching me.
Jeez.
Like, to even, like, shock my system and just break the thoughts, I jumped in the Ozarks. I heard it was, like, not safe to do after I did it, but I just jumped in just to get myself out of that despair feeling, because I felt trapped where I was, and the water, it shocked me a little bit. I got back on the boat, started having a better time, but then it started happening again, and sure enough, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go drive. I'll be right back. And parked the car on the bridge. Bodies just start getting hot. And then that's when I had the revelation, and God started talking to me. Like, by default, like, I can't even help you after this. Just so you know, even if I wanted to, I can't. Because and simply also because of all you know. You know, like all you know already, which I know enough. He's like, and I'm like, yeah, you're right.
Because if you're ignorant, it's different. But since you know, it's like, what can you know?
Man.
Jeez, man. Geez, that's a hell of a question. One of the things I battle a lot with is both of my parents have masters in psychology. They're marriage and family therapists in a way. They have studied and practiced the craft. But one of the things
they still do it?
They have to renew hours apparently, but they're I guess in general, But one of the things I find is really hard is that both my parents are separated, and I feel like
same.
It's interesting because they're in the craft of helping people stay together, but also being in the situation where they weren't.
It's tough.
Isn't it? It puts you in a position where it makes you feel as if like,
are you qualified?
Yo. But I heard my father say something recently that really kind of like, that like just shocked my system. And it was a little bit of like, he's like, you know, I wish I had more patience with your mother. It's like interesting. Such an interesting thing. Hey, just, I wish I had more patience.
It's that clarity.
It's like, I don't know, because like my life, when my parents got separate, I never really felt much. But I did have one really, I don't know what it was. It was like this feeling just like creep over me. And I was talking to a girl I was talking to at the time. And I was telling her like, yo, man, I'm like I just don't know why. But I feel like a lot of like this next season, something's like, it's going to be about me. Like I know the dynamic my parents getting separated is not because of me.
Yeah.
But I know this next season that they're going to go through, it's going to be because of me. And I told her, like, I was telling her, like, man, I feel like I don't know who to choose. You know? I don't know who to choose. Choose my mom or choose my dad. Who do you choose? And I remember she's like, listen, you have to understand, and none of this is your fault. I was like, but I have a feeling that some like, maybe not now, but someday in the future it's gonna be my fault. I'm gonna have to make a decision, and it's gonna be my fault. And it's just, I don't know. This like demon just came out of nowhere. Yeah. Dude. And I'm telling you, dude. Okay, this girl was wild. Okay, by the way, this girl was absolutely crazy. But to see her shift in this moment where felt like she was called, right, in a way, to like, hey, look, this may be just a high school thing. We was just during high school, but it was freshman year, and she's like, I'm gonna coach you through it. She's like, no, listen, you're fine. Don't worry about it. Don't stress about it. You're okay. Like, it's not about you. Just know that she completely ripped that thought out of my brain. Like, threw it away and was just like, it's not. Don't even stress. Don't get into that.
Those are the dopest friends.
You know what's crazy? I never stayed connected with her. And that's what it kind of makes me feel as if kind of like, wow,
that may have been her purpose, though.
Maybe. That's what I'm thinking,
because
right?
If that lie, which I'm going to tell you, I agreed with that lie.
Oh,
so
shoot.
You didn't agree with it. So I'm going to tell you, you missed out on a whole lot of stuff that you did not need to go through. And this is just my universe of accepting that lie. You didn't. You know what I'm saying? You had a friend that came in and me, it was like, all right, add like 15 more. Because shout out to it's funny, this podcast is wild, but the Jesse Lee Peterson podcast.
Oh, yo.
He guided me to forgiving my dad.
Yo.
Yeah.
Can you share those thoughts? Because
he guided me through the lies that were told to me about my dad from a young age. Things about my dad that were, who cares if they were true? It was not a reason for me to not like him as a father.
It's different.
How you, mom, what you got going with dad is none of my business. You know what I'm saying? Which happens in a lot of households. And and that's what's tough. So it's like when you're told that, I didn't have the chance to say no. I just was shown something to not be like at times.
Jeez.
But now it took me, I'm 28, 20 years to come back and be like, actually, like, I fucking love you, dude. And who cares what you do and did to mom? I don't give a shit. You're my dad. I love you. I have you in my life. Actually, which is why I'm so happy you moved this episode, because I'm going to hang out with him at the Dave Chappelle freaking show with my brother as well.
It's crazy how full circle that gets,
dude. And it's like he got his tickets. It was a surprise, and I'm like, dude, my dad never misses. And that's one reason why I'm like, I don't know why I even gave him as hard of a time as I did. When stuff sucked, but it's like a lot more credit should have. It should have been just giving credit. Like we don't focus on the bad here, because it's like if we did that, then everybody would want to leave the house.
As I mentioned, kind of like as I mentioned, you have this Smile More campaign, right? And just for the audience who doesn't know too much about your project and kind of like what you're doing and why you're doing it, can you go a little bit more about the simplicity of Smile More and what that means to you?
So basically, what smile means is it's like in order to appreciate life, I've been shown that you're gonna have to learn to appreciate going without what you have currently. Like for you to appreciate this podcast, y'all had to go through a time when you wasn't in this studio.
Mm.
And,
Yeah.
and your podcast is growing, and I'm watching it grow too from the sidelines, and it's a beautiful thing. But yeah. Sorry, I lost my train of thought on that one.
No, you're good. I think I
But,
appreciate your comment.
Yeah.
Growing something is not easy. I mean, smiling is not easy for some people.
So yeah, so like what it means is like, okay, so in order to appreciate what you have in life, you have to know what it's like to be without. So I love and appreciate my wife because I know what it was like without her. I love and appreciate where I live because I know what it was without a house. If I were to tell you 6 years ago I was sleeping on a trap carpet with bugs crawling on my leg every now and then while going to 2-a-days in practice, like if you told me, hey Ty, stuck it out, man, you're gonna have a wife, a puppy, and all this stuff, and you'll be back in sunny California, I would have laughed at you. Like, what are you talking about? You sound crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, because SMYLE is actually an acronym, and it stands for the struggle makes you love everything. So you going without is going to make you appreciate even more the times that you have when you have. So
Deep.
just building that principle helps you go through hard times. I just posted a meme. It's funny. I be kind of been leaning on Ric Flair.
Yo, shout outs to Ric Flair.
Man, because there's just this principle where, like, God is going to make it hard on you, and it's called discipline because He disciplines the ones He loves. So to like share that on Smile More, it's again smyle.mor on Instagram. I've been making memes and blogging, but to push that principle, Ric Flair goes like, "Woo! Learn to love it." But that's what I'm trying to get them to understand, and I even put the verse at the bottom so you can go read it yourself, so that now next time when you're going through hard times, it's like you kind of approach it how Ric Flair says, like you just gotta learn to love it. Like, okay, hard times right here. That means when it's over, it's gonna be lit. So like when I first landed in Cali, living with my step parents, it was tough. We butted heads and all that stuff, but sure enough, house. I pay most of the stuff, which is so lit to even just say. It's like, oh, I'm not no 50-50 man. Like, no. Kick your feet up. You know what I'm saying? Let me, even if it's hard on me, I just love resting my head knowing that that's essentially what God put me down here for. And with that, my wife runs the budget. She puts the numbers, she crunches them. Oh, we're good. We're actually saving money. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, dude, like, we have this X amount to save after every month, and then we're gonna, like, as we progress in life, it's only gonna get more because we're starting at the grunt style levels of our work right now. So we're like, imagine where we're gonna be 5 years from now. We're like, oh yeah, we're making X, Y, and Z five years from now.
Full stop.
Yeah, like we're not even gonna be in this state 5 years from now because it'd be like, for what? When we can make this amount, why would you stay here making this amount? We can go to this state, get you some property.
Facts.
Several property at that.
Facts.
Like, why not leave, get property, then buy property and just make money off the property where you used to live?
Full stop.
That's a little plan. Try it.
Dude, it's smart.
But that's what we're like kind of moving towards, because it's like, yeah, like that's what we just see for our life. We're going to be self-sufficient and always taking the blows because we know what it's like to have like nothing. But God brought me a life partner, so that's why I'm like, how could I say I have nothing? As long as I'm doing what I'm supposed to do,
Full stop.
we gonna be good.
Full stop. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah. Yeah.
it's the same way. Like, as long as she does what she's supposed to do, we're gonna be good. Because when both people are doing what they're supposed to do, which is talking to God at least 15 minutes a day, you're gonna tell who's out of sync with them. Like, hey, you tripping? I know that's not what he said, because he told me this. And we have those moments where we take time away to stop arguing and come back with, oh yeah, he told me the same thing. Oh, look at that.
That's a great connection.
Look at that. A 3-day fight over in 5 minutes.
See, there's something I really enjoy about your brand, especially your blog, where you're able to take your thoughts and put and archive it somewhere. But what's really interesting about it, it's so good, right? What's interesting about it is that, like, your blog feels like a book. It feels like you're writing a book. I don't know if it makes sense of that, but like I'm telling you, dude, it feels like you're writing a book, like, and a story about like your life, something to pass down. And I think the brand that you're building, especially because like the clothing brand, I actually was curious about asking you this final question. This was kind of the final segment. It's a surprise. I'm not sure if you're going to be feeling about it, but I do want to take a final moment before we kind of trash out of this. If you know anyone who's if you can give any advice to someone, right, who's kind of suffering through this mental health, anguish that they're going through, what advice would you give to someone who may have gone or has experienced something similar to you?
I would say, ask God to show you what gifts he gave you. And then double down on those and have fun in life. He showed me that I have a sense of humor and that I can creatively translate my thoughts through art, through merchandise, through quotes, through memes. And that's just what I do. So that's what I would tell someone else. Yeah, find out what you like to do, and whatever it is, do it. Who cares what they're going to say? It's about you and your life, because you might be thinking about taking it. So it's like, this is extremely important. So why wouldn't you want to play video games? Make a stream page. Who cares if you have 15 followers? That's 15 more than you didn't have.
Shoot, appreciation.
It's like, it's like this, because again, smile. You got to know what it's like without before you get a lot. God's been sitting me on Instagram at a little bit above 200 for like past few months, and I'm like getting a little frustrated, but I'm like, hey, it is what it is. But I love these 200 something. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because this is who I have. Because this started with nothing. You know what I'm saying? So for the fact that 200 some people can just look at my memes and laugh, or just look at my stuff, and I don't even care if you like it, because I'm kind of spreading the gospel like half the time too. So it's like, I'm not really even here for likes. I'm just here just to show you this. Like, I'm that guy like on the street corner. But I'm not yelling like you're going to hell right now. Like, like we're not there yet, but but I'm just like sharing this content with you because this is what God showed me that I'm good at. And also I make my own beats. So yeah.
I'm curious, I'm not sure if you saw, did you see Drake's virtual store? Have you seen that?
Drake's virtual store.
Okay, so this is really interesting. I have a question for you.
Sounds metaversy.
Yes, it actually is. But not so much. So he made an interactive store so where he could sell merch. But the way he designed it was that he didn't want to be able to have people he didn't want to go through the process of actually making all these small little things, handling the creation, handling the distribution, handling all these things. He's just like, look, I'm not about that life. But what he did do,
bag at him.
He just created he pretty much had like this, like, what I believe an architect reimagine his home, but make it digital. So where you go throughout his house, I forgot what he calls his house, but
Wow.
you go throughout his mansion, right? And through his mansion, like there'll be a pool, and at the pool there's like a floaty. And at the floaty, you can click on the floaty and pull up like, hey, if you want to buy this, you can buy this right now from this particular distributor and be able to sell their product immediately to whatever. So if you want to see, what clothes he's wearing, you go to his closet and see the closet, and you can click.
And it'll take you to like
pull it up.
A Miri like
pull
website.
up pull up the thing where you could buy it and then go. It's a Shopify thing. It's called a Shopify collection store, and you can pull it up. You could buy it, and it'll get immediately drop shipped to you. And so it's a really interesting way to go and brand and be able to do something. So one of the things I think would be really cool, right? I think would really dope, right? Is to create something similar, right? To show, because one of the things I don't know who told me this. I apologize, I don't remember. But one of the most, I think, influential thing I ever heard when it comes to designing in terms of like actual clothing. You could spend all of your time designing art. You could design, clothing, cars, whatever. But if you park, right, or if you take this clothing, right, and you put it inside a thrift store, right, or like a garage, right, a trash garage, like a trashy garage, right, right, and then you take that same product and you put it in like a gallery, right, or like a museum.
Yeah.
Same thing. It's worth different.
Yeah.
It's not so much the product. It's so much the environment.
Payless did it with this store called Palessi.
Yo.
Yes, I saw it on YouTube. They put the same
so
shoes.
important to place your product in the right environment.
Yeah.
So you can ask for the right. It's not so much the product that makes the things cost. It's the environment. And what Drake did is that he took these things and put it in the environment of his mansion, and it's digital, right? But then people was like, oh, right? Because if it's in his mansion, then it must be, that floaty is not, $2 from fucking Five Below or something, right? It's like, it has to be $60.
The same one he has.
Yeah, it has to be $60 because, like, look, it's in his mansion. Why would it be in his mansion if it wasn't expensive?
So you're saying that if we were like imagine like this was one of his rooms, like we're in like a VR set or whatever.
No, it's not even that. Like, Sarah,
but I'm just saying.
Pull it up for the chat. We're just gonna do it, okay? But if you pull it up for the chat, we're gonna see. This is a new thing we're gonna try right now. This is the last time of the thing. So you go to Drake's store.
So it's like if I wanted one of these wall decorations, I could just buy the same exact one off the wall.
So you see, okay, is it okay? I don't know if you're gonna share your screen, Sarah, but Sarah I think is gonna share it to everybody if she can find it.
That's intense.
Let me see if I can pull up my phone. But it's Drake's collection store. Like it's like this like collection, and you can like it's like virtual. I guess I should put virtual. And it's like this. You see it, Sarah? Sarah's not talking to anybody. Okay, guys. She doesn't exist.
She's locked in. She is locked
Drake's
in.
website. Yeah, it's on his website. And it allows him to... it allows you to go through his store. Tor includes his stores. No. Take it. Wait. Drake's virtual house. OVO clothing line. Oh shoot! I wish I could figure it out, guys. I'm sorry, chat.
It's not this one, huh?
No, I'm see if I can.
October's very own.
Okay, maybe it's that. I don't know, but I was seeing if I could put it. Well, chat, if you know, just post it in because that's really interesting what he's doing. And I wanted to ask you, right? We spend a lot of time on our art. We spend a lot of time, but a lot of people don't have value, right? Whether they have value in themselves or value in their work. And I feel like a lot of people should start putting themselves in these environments to be able to go, because I feel like people are the same. If you want to go and see the value of yourself, start putting yourself in spaces that have high value. right? If you don't feel value, like if I put myself in trap houses, of course I'm gonna feel a lower value. If I go to church, right, I'm gonna feel of a higher. If I go to a museum, if I hike a mountain, if I go to Mount Everest, if I go to these spaces that people have not gone for, I put myself in these environments. It will pull me to a totally different person. It will literally, right, where I don't see the value, but people will start seeing the value in me, right? Because it's different when you see the value in yourself, and also people are edifying it. And I think what I was curious about is like, how important do you feel like the environment plays a part to why people feel as valuable as they are? I don't know if you understand my question here.
No, it's kind of like, it's really why your internal values are very important, because you'll be at times surrounded by people with bad values. Like if we're playing football, that's when coach says, don't play down to your competition. Like, just because we're going against this weak opponent doesn't mean that you forget how to put him on his back. You know what I'm saying? And just like, just apply that to everything else. Like, because also if your values are good, it'll alter your surrounding environment. So, but it doesn't always work like that. But sometimes when it works like that, it's pretty dope, because
And then it'll lead to my final question of the night, unless you have a question for me. Then where do you think is the best place for a marriage to live? What environment would you want a marriage to be?
In the privacy of your home. That's the best environment for any marriage. The privacy of your home. I'd rather yell at my wife at home, which I don't even yell at my wife. Or at least I get to learn and fall and be vulnerable, and that's where you're supposed to do it. You're not supposed to do it on the stage. It's not supposed to be on tape. It's not supposed to be filmed. It's not supposed to be any of that, because when you see stuff like that, I know it's not genuine. Because if it was, it wouldn't be like that. If it was real, if it was worth having, you wouldn't show it. It wouldn't be on TV. That's why I don't let my wife watch reality TV, because I tell her it's not real.
Yo.
And then when you watch it, it's always associated with fighting, division, drama, things that tear marriages apart. You will find on reality TV. All the things. If you want to see how to do it wrong, turn on that TV. If you want to see how to do it right,
talk to people. Meet them without the video camera.
Without the camera. Like, dude, man, it's like, surround yourself by the people you want to be like.
Jesus.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's where a marriage should be. It should be surrounded by other marriages.
Yo.
And if it's not, it's gonna be hard. That's an island. Like, we have a couple that we're very close with, and I'm so thankful for them, because I know it'd be tough without them. I can't say their name. I'm so nervous right now.
No, you're good.
It's funny because I have a stutter like Moses, and I suck at S's. But the Sprags, there we go.
Shoot.
The Sprag, S. The Sprags are very dope people, and they helped me and my wife transition through our marriage from courting to being how we are. And we wouldn't be where we are if we didn't have them, or the Normans, which is our pastors in Long Beach, who are also married. You know, like, we're just around young people who get married or are married, or old married people, like Grandpa Rufus.
Yo.
Grandma Geraldine. You know what I'm saying? Because we see that how they got there. They've been married. Yeah, my pastors have been married for 60 years. Yes.
It's unheard of nowadays.
60 years. 60 years. I cannot make it up. They're both over 80 years old and can still do the boot scoot. They are in good health. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, we see that what helped them, which just wraps it all up, is the pastor told me a lot of himself had to die, and die throughout the marriage. And the more he died, the more his wife submitted to him. He has a book called Godhead sitting in the presidential library right now. Yeah. I'll tell you about it. It's a very, very affordable book.
No, I'll get it. Yeah,
Yeah.
that'll be our next show. I'm right down to talk about it. Is it good?
Oh,
I mean, it's at the presidential show. So
amazing. And that's the thing. I'm sitting here like, nah, not real. I went to his house. He has the like seal, like, yeah, this book is in the president's library, which I'm assuming it's never going to change once it's in there.
Even if it is, dude, that's a hell of a compliment.
Yeah. And he was a former gang member, turned cop, turned pastor.
That's a hell of a transition, guys.
So, which just shows it's a lot of him listening more. Because when you listen more, makes everything work better.
Sure. And
so, yeah, surround your marriages with successful marriages, not just any old marriage. No weird swinging and all that. No. Adam 22, no.
Shot.
No.
Shots fired.
No.
Bro, Adam, bro.
No, bro. That's if you want to see one fail, you're watching it fail. Again, where are you watching it fail?
Reality TV.
On TV.
Where can people find you, brother?
Man, just follow me on Instagram, Smile More. I've been on this wave of just kind of telling just concepts of the Bible through memes. I've been using WWE memes. They're funny to me. They make me laugh. I think they're freaking hilarious.
Let's do it.
But my blog is also active too. Everything you want to find me under, I'm also on YouTube as well. I got one video up, but we got more fancy stuff like the B&E podcast coming up on the way. So as soon as my wife and I get that going, we're going to hopefully at least sound as good as you.
Dude, let's do it, man. I would love to support it.
Please.
We need more people showing their worth. You know what I mean? Especially spreading their knowledge and what they absolutely, yeah, whatever.
I'm also going to tell you too, the reason why me and my wife will be successful. We're surrounded by your marriage.
Oh, I appreciate that, man. Yeah.
Truthfully, we don't know any other digital couple doing their thing.
Oh, we appreciate it.
I'm telling you, like, you guys really helped us really get our stuff going and just build the confidence. And like that's why I said, watching your podcast take off from, at one point you had less followers than me, and then now I'm seeing you at well over 1,000. I'm like, I'm like, yeah, babe, look at them. They're doing something right.
I appreciate it, man. No, honestly,
straight up.
I think what we realized throughout this process is that putting yourself out there is not as easy as you would think, right? And we've done it for years. Like, we go door to door, so we're always talking to people and putting ourselves in the most vulnerable situations. To be like, hey, what's up? How's it going? You know what I'm saying? We brought cookies. I'm just kidding. No, whatever, right? Yeah. But digital feels even more foreign. It feels like, and this is why I like what we're doing, because we wanted to bring more of that like humanness to it.
Yeah.
Because we felt like digital was so kind of like theatrical, and we felt like, man, maybe like we're not made for that type of marketing. Maybe we should just stick to our direct old school, marketing. But we're like, maybe there is a space for us to be able to still have these human connections. Maybe not just like, this is so weird talking to a camera. It's just so much better just to talk to some person,
Yeah.
And so I really appreciate you mentioning that. And I'm really excited to help you throughout your journey. But I don't know if you had any topics you wanted to jump into or anything you want to talk about.
Yeah.
We might have to do a second show.
Nah, here we go. Let's see. Let's just talk about what I've been talking about recently. I mean, I'm not here to step on anyone's toes, but I just found out that Starbucks funds Planned Parenthood, so the wife and I had to stop getting our favorite drinks. Bittersweet.
It's real life right there, huh?
No pun intended. But I just say that to say that that is what this process is about. It's about, once you know, it's really up to you to make a choice or not. You know what I'm saying? And
That's a deep thing right there, Reverend.
yeah, and that's why it's like I'm very like skeptical, and I don't want to like hurt your platform. That's why it's like the stuff that I want to talk about, I'll invite you to my platform and we can really dive into.
Oh, dude, we were talking about transgender. Like that shit is crazy. So I don't think I don't think transgender individuals. I think do it, but I think they were teaching it to children. I think that was wild.
Okay, yeah,
wild. Yeah, so yeah, no, we're we talk about everything here.
See, look, with that, here's my thing as well. I never understood why you need a group of children to affirm anything sexually going on with you. A group of kids, I don't care if you want to call kids 17 or if you want to call kids 2 years old, 1 year old. But if you are sitting in front of a group of students and the fact that they call you by what you want to be called and that makes you feel any bit better, I think that is where also the true issue lies.
Well, okay. And can I give my thoughts on this?
Oh, for sure.
Okay, so I am more on the side of completely okay with. I know this sounds wild, but I'm okay with children transitioning, just as I'm the same okay with kids, like saying they're gay or whatever. Because what I've seen over history and when I was looking at reports, because I was really diving into this world, I was trying to get a better understanding. You know how there used to be like pray away the gay, or like, if we baptize you long enough, we're going to get you to stop being gay. And I'm like, dude, these people are gay. Let's let them be gay. So I mean, at the end of the day, what my mentality is that schools is a whole different place, because especially if it's a public school, you can't really, in my mind, train children to operate a way where the teacher has like this reign right over things, or the administrator has the reign over things, to be able to kind of instill certain things into your child's brain, right? I have a kid. I need to know what you are trying to put into my kid, right? Whether it be the food, whether it be the books or the education, whatever the case may be, I need to be involved throughout the entire process, right? And the more I'm involved, the more okay I should be. Because at no time it should be crazy, right? We're supposed to learn math, science, and English, right? Maybe, sex education. But that's not until high school, You know what I mean? Maybe middle school if you really want to get dangerous with it, right? But, like, I think that there is multiple studies that show that some children who turn gay will never, they just are gay. It is what it is. You can't burn it out of them. You can't brand it. You can't baptize them 60 times. You try to get, that's just like who they are. They're wired, their brains are wired that way. Now, do I want my children to be gay? No, not necessarily. Do I want to be promoting, hey, this is, if you're feeling gay, this is like, I don't. I think we should be teaching traditional ways of humans, connections.
If you put 1,000 gay people on an island, the island will go extinct.
Yeah, full stop.
So that's why it's like I wouldn't agree with that being taught in schools. But about the transitioning, would you support your child transitioning?
So
if you
the
have
answer,
a child to transition?
So we're talking about the age of what, like 12, 13, 14? That's,
I mean,
right? If we're talking about 18, I mean, my child is a tough world, right? You know what I'm saying? If they're 18, they get to choose whoever they want to, whether I agree with her or not.
Yeah.
So, okay. So we're talking about children.
Adult.
Yeah. So I think, and if I was talking about my kids, I think I would instill the proper values for them to understand why that's not the most appropriate way for them to transition. So let me explain. If my child decides to says, "Hey, Dad, I feel like I'm a boy or I'm a girl," right? Mm-hmm. Right. I need them to understand that that's not true. It's okay. And again,
that's illegal now in California.
That's okay. And I just went through this whole thing here.
We're on the tightrope.
I just got clarified here. It's not that it's illegal. What it is essentially what's happening is that if the court and you having if the court sees that you have a divorce situation happening between your mother and a father, right? And they find that during the court case battle, they're fighting over their kids and the parents are not really involved and the kids trying to affirm what they're going to be. It could be possible that the city or the state could take the kid away or put them in particular situations.
So if you're transsexual or trans whatever,
transgender,
and your parents happen to go through a divorce, and your school finds out that your parents are going through a divorce, they can come and take you
Their state
because that kid isn't solidified in their identity during the time of that separation.
Yes, and it's a little bit more than that. There has to be a form of abuse of them, like not allowing the child to be able to declare, hey, like this is what I'm feeling, this is what I'm going. They feel neglected. That's the thing. It's about neglect.
So that's the thing. So the abuse can be deemed as my parent not affirming.
Now, okay, but this is a court, so you have to understand that I don't think the court is going through like they're trying to rip kids away from their families here.
Oh, they do all the time. But watch. So
that's true.
If one is affirming and
Sure.
one is not affirming, don't we see how it's easily going to be seen as the parent that's not affirming is being seen as abusive?
Well, not necessarily, right? Because let's say, for example, you have children. This happens all the time. So my dad, my dad, like, you need to see evidence of that happening. If there is no evidence of it, right, just because someone feels some type of way, doesn't mean anything.
Oh, yeah. I almost got taken when I was 8 years old. So
I remember this story, my friend.
Yeah.
I was close to it.
I've had this CPS at my house. That's why I'm saying, like, it's almost like the devil's playing a game of Connect Four with us, and he already has 3 of them set up. And there's no way that we can connect more than 3.
So,
but there's plenty of spaces, but it's set up in a way that we're never gonna connect more than 3. That's the best way I can really say it. It's a dangerous game that they're creating.
But I think it's not as severe as you're making. Let me explain. God is more powerful than the devil, correct?
Oh, of course.
So there's no way possible that there will be no spaces left for us to be able to create. If people stand up and put themselves in positions where they feel like they have a voice and a choice, then their things will have to change. For example, if I did not like what the school was doing, right? Mm-hmm. I know that I would go door to door telling these parents, this is what's happening to our children. This is the situation I'm going through. Do you want to start your own school? Because I'm looking to start my own community, my own school. We could do homeschooling. We could come put our pots together. Mm-hmm. We'll rent out a facility. We'll take our kids there. I'll buy an office lease, whatever. We'll start building this school up, private, whatever, who has the same principles and values. And right? We live in a place, in a country that allows us to be able to make changes, right? Mm-hmm. Where we don't like things are going, we can make those changes, those things happening. But it's all if people really want to make a difference and not just talk on Twitter but actually do something.
Yeah, just to reiterate what I meant about like blocking off some of the spaces, it's like divorce and child custody is already a thing in itself. It's already a beast.
Sure.
So now when you throw in the buffer of, by the way, for kids transitioning and all, now this also applies to the already messed up game. That's what I meant, like, that is making the game more where it's like we're never going to really be able to connect to because the game is already the winner itself. Like, the computer already always wins. Even though we feel like we win when one kid goes to one house or the other, we feel like we won. Because, like, what if the mom, which you already know moms get the majority of the kids, what if the mom is the one dressing Tommy in dresses, but dad is not cool with that?
See, this is, I think, even more reason why parents should stay together. Yeah, for sure.
I know, and we know most likely Tommy's going to go to mom and wear more dresses. And I've seen plenty of videos of where it's like that. And it's a tough situation, but that is the antics and the stakes that the devil has risen us to. He's thrown in that to where it's now like, it's hard to even play.
It's rough because you don't know what the right thing to do, right? Because you're dealing with children, right, who are easily influenced. And a child wants to be liked. A child wants to be affirmed. A child wants to be, a child wants to feel like they're not making any mistake. They just want to have fun, live life, do their thing, but they want to do it with other people who would accept them. It's acceptance, really, which is one of the things
Well, we know that's not how the world works.
Exactly. This is why it's very interesting because you have these my sister was on Netflix and she was watching the show. And she's just going on Netflix. There's a child Netflix, kids Netflix. And on the kids Netflix, there was like this random kind of like a cartoon and 2 gay, right, cartoons. This is on the kids section of Netflix. Kiss. And I told my mom, I was like, Mom, like
Yeah, back then it was Degrassi for me, but now it's a cartoon.
it's going down. It's like but we were in what, middle school, high school, right? Middle school, high school.
Nah, my mom walked in on a gay scene of Degrassi, and I didn't even know what was happening. Two dudes kissed. I think I was in the 5th grade.
But that's okay. But that's specifically meant for high schoolers or whatever, right?
I mean, still though, it's like, yo.
But no. But that's
they show noggin on this same channel.
Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, dude. I remember it was like Phineas in the Brain or something. So what is it? Pinky in the Brain? Dude, wild stuff I've seen. The dude, he has a saw.
Windows.
He has a saw, and he's like thrusting the saw, cutting. Like, I don't know if you.
It's sick, dude.
It's wild. It was Cartoon Network was crazy back then. But anyway, moral of the story.
Dexter's mom. I try to make you laugh with that because all the little homies know, like, yeah.
No, it was real.
They've been coming at us for
Chad, you know anything about Dexter's
while,
mom, man. Jeez. But one of the things that's just like, yo, man. And so, yeah, what I meant by that, and you asked me the question, I answered straightforward. Obviously I would tell my kids, like, no, you're not if, like, say my son saying I'm a girl, it's like, you're not, right? You are a boy. No matter how you feel about that or not, that is who you are. That was where you were born. That's what God created you. That is the situation, right? That is what you want to do.
Because that's ultimately what the attack is. We're not arguing, or are you a boy or a girl? We're arguing, does God literally create man and woman anymore? That's the argument that we're having here as an entire society, because it's not just the United States. All of a sudden, everybody and their mama don't know if everybody and their mama is everybody and their mama. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if, well, if you want to be a woman, it's because you feel like, no. Which I made a meme about this too. It was saying, like, when they ask you what makes you a dude, and it was DX.
Oh, yeah.
It was just a bunch of clips of them going like this. Because I'm like, yeah, like, it's just the fact that we're here debating this topic when I was saying to my wife, I'm tired of seeing the same people I sat with in high school health class jump on this they train.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, when we were in high school, there was the gay table, and they wore the high boots, the rings, the collars, and it was cool. We didn't trip.
It was cool. We understood.
I was cool. I feel off. I'm like, yeah, what's up? I mean, like, yeah.
But I think they're getting taken into it. I think one of the things I realized is that the gay community is not really the transgender community. They're kind of getting sucked into it. First, it was just like LGB, maybe, right? Like les, gay, and bi. That's just who your sexual preferences. Like, who do you want to be with in terms of, right? But then it started becoming like LGBTQ. X, and then it's like plus, like there's a lot more that was added on, and so they're kind of sucked into this world, and that's not what they advocated for.
But that's not. It sucks that it's not what they advocated for, but unfortunately, that is a part of your world.
Sure, but I mean, I don't know. The way I feel like is that.
That was the Trojan horse.
My thing is that I don't really have two. Again, I'm always like I'm a libertarian, so I'm not so conservative, right? I don't really care what you do, right? My thing is the sports aspect, right? The kids in sports, right? Transgenders in sports. I think that's a really big dynamic there. I think that's just so hard to advocate for, to say like you want a biological male to compete with women. Like, geez, man, they spent decades trying to carve out like their own space, and now it's just tough. I feel for
why can't we have a trans Olympics?
But that's the problem, because they don't see themselves as trans. They see themselves as women or men, right?
And that's my thing.
Right.
Every month of June, you see who supports you. The companies come out. The rainbow logos come out for the whole 30 days.
Sure. We get our month too.
You see it.
Sure.
I'm wondering why we don't have a trans Olympics already, because I feel like if that's really the issue, then like that's a big answer. We have the Special Olympics. We don't let them compete with us at Beijing Rome or wherever it is. We don't let the handicaps, like they're losing limbs and all that. They're not on the same stage as Usain Bolt.
Yeah.
And they're not up in arms about it because they understand this stuff comes into play. All this stuff comes into play. So if we're here saying that what you are comes into play, Mr. Sir, but you want to be Miss Ma'am while you swim, no, that comes into play. So, but then when you mention, okay, let's have a Trans Olympics. Okay. So yeah, you're really not about the fight then. You're not. This whole inclusion stuff, it's almost like you're elbowing people to squeeze into a spot on the bus that isn't a spot on the bus.
So let me give you a question then, because I'm curious here, right? Men and women, in the very basic terms, are not equal. Right? Men are different from women.
Yeah, they're not equal.
But can men and women, right, have equality of outcome? I guess that's what they want.
Equality of outcome does not exist. Because if that existed, me and you would both be as rich as Jay-Z.
Facts. Hey, shit.
So everybody wants the same outcome, but it's like, no, that does not exist. There is nothing that me and you cannot do that Mrs. Who can't do. Legally, in the American Constitution or whatever law it is, there is nothing that she cannot do that us as black men, of all men, cannot do. And vice versa. But there is one thing that she can't do.
Shoot.
She can't come in our bathroom. And that's the thing. It's like that for a reason.
But you're stopping going to Starbucks because of this?
Yeah, because
even Planned Parenthood, you're going. It's anyone, because now that's something I think I'm on the opposite end of you right here.
I'm not offended. I'm not up in arms about
me.
That.
Me neither.
I personally, had an abortion, 2019, and I thought it'd be something I could shake off, but I couldn't even go to church no more, because I'm hearing about life and how precious it is. I'm on the freeway playing the church radio, and I gotta turn it off when he start talking about pro-life, because I just couldn't live with myself. Which also why I wanted to kill myself too. I just couldn't. I just known like wow, I really took the easy way out because I didn't want to man up for my decisions, which is what it really boiled down to. And once I realized that my strawberry pink drink with the light ice, extra strawberry puree,
bruh,
with the biggest size too,
venti, bro,
was now tied with what I said I wouldn't be tied within. I had to stand on what I said.
Can I give you?
So I was like,
see, this
I
is.
got to look up the recipe for the pink drink now.
But
no one said I can't have no pink
hold
drink.
Up, though.
I just got to make it at my house.
You have a.
It's tough, but it is what it is.
The legislation that you're pushing can affect a lot of people.
Yeah.
Now I'm not saying that it's such a bad thing, but I am saying this should be. I think it's crazy. I think there's rules or levels to it, right? I believe in I call it the destiny take, right? Where abortion should be legal up until about 20 weeks.
I mean, it's still alive.
I'm not. No one's disputing it's alive.
So you're killing babies.
They're not babies. They're.
So what are they?
They're. They're like.
Because my
embryos,
daughter,
yeah?
my daughter had a heartbeat, and it was way past 20 weeks, and we aborted her. So.
Well, past 20 weeks.
Even?
Past 20 weeks, I think is like no. I think there's nah.
But even prior, there's a heartbeat. There's a sex. There's.
Yeah, I mean, well, okay.
Still a baby.
Yeah, let's say you're you're alive at the hospital
Uh-huh.
and your brain isn't working. You have a heartbeat. You're eating. You know, is that person alive or dead?
The person that's on life support?
Yeah.
I mean, they're alive on life support if that's what
They'll have a heartbeat.
Because people have those kind of things already set up where they're like, hey, this is a do not resuscitate, or hey, if I go under, like, pull me after this, and I already got the organ donor thing on my card and blah, 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 blah. So,
No, but like, what? How do you count when someone passes?
how do you count when someone passes? Well, I mean, initially, that have to be tied in with the question of how do you count when someone's someone?
Yeah, I believe you count someone as someone.
After 20 weeks?
Yeah, when they have a conscious experience.
But not before 20 weeks.
Because they don't have a conscious experience.
So, what would you define as a conscious experience?
I mean, shoot, that's the lesson of life, right?
Is that the ability to have a memory?
Yeah, it's essentially when you have all your cognitive functions, your brain waves are moving. You're having a full-on dialogue of kind of like understanding you have all the necessary tools to understand the world and how it works, right? Apparently, this is what this is what we deem as society.
I didn't have a conscious thought till I was like 7.
That's not true. Babies can start not even even when you're in womb, you can start understanding things, words, concepts, things as soon as 20 weeks. These things can start. Now, is it fully developed? No, but you have the tools there to be able to do it at 20 weeks for sure. That's just like, again, the question I have for you, right? When does someone die? When does someone pass away? Is it when someone heart beats?
When someone passes away, it is when
their brain stops functioning, right?
I would say their brain is not functioning for at least 12 minutes and their heart is not pumping blood simultaneously for at least 12 minutes. Then I think you could technically deem somebody dead, because I've heard some pretty crazy stories of where somebody's been out for about a couple minutes and they've been shocked and brought back to life. So it's like,
well, you can give someone a brain.
Also, and like,
let's say you give someone a brain, right? But you have a machine that can keep their heart pumping, right? Like, let's say it's just a machine. There's no heart in their chest. They can talk to you, speak to you. They're awake. They just have a heart machine that pumps their blood throughout their body, right? That person is theoretically alive, just waiting for a heart transplant, correct?
Yeah, if they're up sitting there talking to you.
Can you transplant their liver?
I mean, if the person's up sitting talking to you,
you can transplant their wee-wee. You can transplant everything. Like, but the only thing you cannot transplant is their brain. And so the one thing that we think as people, right? The one thing that we recognize is when someone's alive or when someone is dead is based off of when they have a conscious experience. As soon as you lose that, right, then you are not who you are anymore, right? You are essentially dead. You're a vegetable at that point. So that is when you die. So that is when you essentially, that's when we add value when you live, right?
According to how you feel.
Well, I mean, sure. I mean, this is my argument, right? So like,
because we
is there a flaw in my argument
about it? So it's like, I'm not like trying to convince you, but I understand your point, because I used to have your point at one time.
Sure.
Until, again,
I had your point at one time too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was pro-life all the way.
How many abortions have you had?
None.
Because that's what changed my opinion.
Sure.
Is when I actually got the experience to see what life is like without a child. When you know you're going to have one, versus not even having the option to say yes or no to that life. Because I'll tell you right now, the pain and regret of not having Avery right here hurts me more than the sorry piece of crap I was trying to fucking think that I couldn't take care of her, when it just took me to fucking man up. When essentially, like how I said, it's my fault. I didn't man up, give her mom a stable situation to think that I was even supporting her, to the point where I couldn't convince her to not go. So, but that's why I'm saying, hey, don't have one. Because, again, I'm telling you, and your viewers, the pain of not knowing what she looks like, how, if she'd even laugh like me, have my personality, does she like music, would she have liked sports, would she have been a smart kid, because I wasn't smart in school, or would she have been like her mom, because her mom's really good with her hands, and she could have been a doctor or some surgeon. We would never know. I could have probably ended the life of somebody who would have found a cure to something. I would not know until I see God. So yeah, that's why I'm so adamantly like, yeah, once you have that baby, ride it on out, big fella, because no matter if that baby gonna have 2 arms and not know goo goo ga blah blah, if that's the best that they could talk for the rest of their life, that's all that matters, because it's the fact that you brought a life into this world. You should be okay with however that life turns out. Because again, God brought you into this world.
Hey, I don't disagree. I think that I'm always about making sure that you take care of your decisions.
Hell yeah.
But I am not about putting and forcing my decisions on others.
Yeah.
So if we are gonna legislate it, then I think it's a big thing to go and tell women that if you've been raped or if you've been molested or human trafficked or something's going on, that you are legally going to go to jail, or legally you're going to lose your life, because people at one point were burning people at the stakes for having abortions, because of a situation, whether that be in your control or not. At the end of the day, though, I respect anyone, right, who says, hey, look, if I make a decision and want to have a child, then they have to be able to do that. Do it. I'm 100% about that.
I don't support anybody out here, though, using abortion as a means of contraception. That's sick. Because some of the conversations I've heard back in the Midwest, I used to date a woman who didn't even care about the amount of abortions she had. She talked about them like I don't know, like you would talk about how many shots you had when you had a fun time at a timeout. And I've heard men talk about, yeah, I've used some of this money, my scholarship money to pay for this to get done. I've had girls swallow 6 pills, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, that's why I'm like on the side. Because then when I heard that and still chose my fucking sorry ass side, that's when it hit me like, how can you live with yourself? You're just like him, her, him, them who didn't care about it, her who she had her 6th one and would have another one. And then I heard a conversation about a dude who's, yeah, it's conversations like that, which is why I said like earlier, it's because there's sides to stand on. And people don't realize that side has those people on it too. It sucks, but they're also on that side. So
yeah, I think
although my position may be controversial when it comes to terms of rape, I would still rather be on this side with the women also who have survived those instances and say that not having an abortion was the best thing that they've ever done. I'd rather be on that side still at the end of the day, because people like those fucking pieces of shit talking about they've had their 12th one and then complain when they meet a man and can't have kids anymore, or women that have only had one and now can't reproduce anymore. They're on that side. So yeah,
I think I think that the way you're framing it is not incorrect. I think there is some people out there who are kind of like enjoyers, right?
Oh, like,
but
yeah,
like
yeah. We'll just go
I
buy
imagine
Plan
like
B. We'll just go do this real quick.
I think that there's some sense of like I think there's some sense of that as well when you kind of like, people, they eat steak. That's been alive. They eat cows. No, they eat
steak,
chicken.
man.
They eat pigs and pork, and they really, these are babies.
Those people make me laugh too. The people that care about animals more than the 60 million that we have currently.
I'm just saying, out of context, right?
Yeah.
In context, right? It's just an animal, right? With his heartbeat or brain or however they're safely or killed or whatever. It doesn't really matter, right? Because for me, the way I see it, it's just sales,
Yeah, I'm getting a burger right after this.
Full stop.
Bakers.
Yeet and delete. And so so the way my mentality says, it's just sales. It's just sales.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it is up until 20 weeks, right? It's sales just like you have sales. If I cut off your arm, you're not gonna be like, fuck, dude. My life is over.
I mean,
it has no brain.
so technically, if it's just a bunch of cells, which you are too, by the way, technically you're also a bunch of cells.
With a
She's bunch of
conscious
cells.
experience. That's correct.
I know, and that's what I'm saying. Your definition of a conscious experience and your definition of what it is totally cool. I'm just not on that side.
And I respect it.
Facts.
And so I think at the end of the day,
I respect yours too.
I hope you know, one of the things I really like about these conversations is having them, because you know, they're important. I think there's important to be able to talk about your views specifically on things. You know, as controversial as this is going to be forever, it will always be a really, really tight subject. Whether we agree on the transgender and maybe disagree on abortion, I think that is an interesting conversation nonetheless. And I would love to dive more into this world with you. I really would. I have a lot of things. I think it's gonna take some time, but I think there's some.
It's dark. I've almost shot somebody before. I've almost what? I mean, my life, like I said, when I got married, it's like I kind of left very far from it, and it's fun to look back at it sometimes and realize like how stupid I was. Because I'm here right now. Like I used to do acid trips, shroom trips, not believe in God on purpose. So I've been on all kinds parts of the spectrum and have arrived over here. That's why it's fun to look back and be like, I understand. But you know, still it is what it is at the end of the day. Because I'd rather be right here.
And me as well. I'd rather be here. I think that I'm really excited. One thing I'm really, really excited about is the future. We talk so much about the past here, but I'm excited about the future and what it entails in people.
Yeah,
I'm curious. I do now have another question. I'm sorry, I know Sarah's like that. I have another question.
Yeah.
My bad. We're in the darkness here.
No, you good.
So I have one final question for you.
For sure.
Values and principles really, really matter, especially for those who you surround yourself with, the people that you're who you are, where you are, and how you are. Right?
They dictate everything. It's like they dictate the culture.
What is the fine line?
The fine line.
Everything 100% goody, but there's the 99. The 99 that's great, the 1% that's not. What is the fine line?
Like, I need you to rephrase that for me.
What is the line that people would cross to where you would disassociate? Everything else is right. Everything is fine.
Okay.
It is just a fine line.
Here we go. Here's when I just like, all right. Angry people. Angry people show me a lot of what's going on in their life. So when I'm having a conversation and it's getting heated, I'll get out of there.
Yeah.
And then we start having conversations over the phone. And then we start having conversations less and less
Carrier
and less till we're not talking anymore. Because people that are mad, because again, who deals with anger? You know what I'm saying? I can tell that you have a lot in your life going on that I do, and I don't want that around me. And you're actively not trying to fight it. I'm actively trying to fight it. I used to like yell at my wife. Now I get sick to my stomach when I yell at my wife, because it's a line I'm not crossing no more. It's like it's a different kind of pedigree of person. A person who's mad can't control themselves. They can't control themselves when you're not around them. They have no self-control. They say what they want, do what they want, all that stuff. And I can't be around someone like that. Because if you're a mad person, you might have enemies. Like, I was going to chill with a homie one day, and I was like, nah, he be posting wild stuff on his stories. And I'm married now. And a lot of his stuff seems like he's angry. And I don't know who he's pissed off. and I don't want to be caught with him and with someone he's pissed off. Like, that's how I think now. Like, I don't really associate with angry people. I can't, because you're gonna drag me back. Because like it took me a while to kill my side. Because like,
anger is such a weird,
here's
weird thing for you to say, but it makes so much sense though.
And mine was so tough is because it originated with football, and football was me. So imagine how hard it is to dissociate from anger when they tell you, get on this field and kill him. And I would really go out there and try to hurt you. I've broken 2 collarbones. I say that with pride still, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I've played with that intensity, like at that level, to where when I'm on the field, that was my escape. My escape was being angry. You see?
Feel it.
So that's why when I got off the field, I'm like, yeah, this person has to die. Because holy shit, he's not fun to be around. He has no self-control. He's mean to everybody. He's moody. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, up. Yeah, so once I start killing that about in me, I start killing it out there. And I've been cooling. So
I think I lean on the same.
Yeah.
I lean on the 3 kind of pillars of our firm and kind of our vision. I don't really care about your views. I don't care about much of anything outside of, like, really hyper-focused things. Outside of, I think my main core values would be a positive attitude.
Yeah.
For sure. A good work ethic, and someone who's a good student, has the right mentality. I think those things really mean a lot to where I see and who I want to surround myself with. Because if I have someone who's a good student, right, is willing to change their mind, right, then that means I'm willing to change mine. We can be at a space where we can have these conversations.
You can collaborate.
For real, yeah. And also on the work ethic side, I like people who want to get shit done, right?
Hell yeah.
And want to get things, want to make a difference. You can't change the world, but you can change your world. And if you surround yourself with enough people who are changing their world, they'll change the world. So my goal is to recruit. And then I think the final thing is that attitude. I like the garden theory. It's kind of like the plants. If you want a seed to grow, you give it water, you give it sun. If it's in the proper soil, you maybe cut off some dead leaves. Then in due time, that seed will grow. Give it the freedom and the time and patience to allow it to become whatever it's going to become.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
if you treat people with the same respect, you'll get that back. And I think the one thing that causes a big problem is when you try to stomp on the seed. You try to yell at the seed. Yeah. You try to tell the seed, this is how it's going to go.
You know what's funny?
The seed doesn't do it.
That literally doesn't even work in nature. Like, they did the whole, you put metal music on a plant and you put peaceful music. The plant with the metal and the now doesn't grow. The one with the flourishing. So that's actually very dope that you said that, because that's literally how it is. For real.
I'm excited. This is going to be an interesting journey, my friend.
Man, bro,
I'm really excited about life right now. I don't know how y'all feeling, bro.
Series.
I'm fucking ready, bro. This shit is dope. Anything else, my friend?
Nah, just look out for me on YouTube.
Hey.
We're on there too, Smile More Media. But,
get it?
The blog is the main push. If you need beats for your for anything you got going, hit me up too. I'll make those as well.
Hey.
Gemini Ty on SoundCloud. You can see what I got up there. But just want to thank you guys again. It's always awesome coming down.
Show the shirt, man. You got to rep the shirt. We got to see the sweater.
Yeah, for sure, bro, for sure. Got to rep it. But I'm going to be rocking merch.
Oh, that's dope.
Oh, for sure, bro. Thank you. I was very big.
I see the tattoo and it kind of resembles it.
Yeah. I got my logo tatted on my arms. That's how committed I am to this. And that's ultimately what I like. It's really like, my tattoos serve a lot of purposes, but it's my, like, I'm alive. Because, almost didn't want to be here at one point. So, but thank God that person's gone. But yeah.
Mr. Ty Shaw.
Yeah, man, check us out, man. I'll make you laugh. Trust me. If I make you laugh on my Instagram, throw me a follow.
Hey.
That's a rule. If you laugh, follow. If you laugh, share. But yeah, appreciate
Welcome
you guys.
to the beginning of the never ending. And as always, have peace, have love, and be happy even after death. Good night, everyone. Deuces.
Peace.
Oh!